Evoker is a class that I do play, so I am very excited for this. And this is for augmentation and devastation, which I do play. I don't play preservation. So this one I'm very interested. So mass eruption and mass disintegrate. I love disintegrate. For augmentation, empower spells cause your next eruption to strike up to 3 targets. Let's go, dude. Eruption, if I'm not mistaken, that's the knockup ability. When striking less than 3 targets, eruption damage is increased by 25% for each missing target. Oh, let's go. Devastation, empower spells cause your next disintegrate to strike up to 3 targets. What? Are you kidding me, bro? They're gonna make disintegrate have AoE effects? Oh, that's litty, dude. AoE effects on disintegrate, that's like the laser beam that devastation evokers do. Oh, bro, that is freaking sweet. And the damage is increased by 25% for each missing target. So even if you're doing single target with disintegrate, it's just gonna do more damage. All right, let's go down. Might of the Black Dragonflight. Black spells deal 10% increased damage. Oh, that's so, let's go, dude. More of a passive, but again, there's multiple trees, so I think it's cool to know that now. Melt armor. Deep breath and breath of eons. That's like the Dragonflight fly over you, put stuff on the ground thing they do. Causes enemies to take 20% increased damage from bombardments, and I don't know what a bombardments bar, but essence abilities for 12 seconds. Another one where you gotta choose between left and right. Hardened scales. Obsidian scales reduce damage taken by an additional 5%. Okay, making them even tankier. Let's go. Menacing presence. Knocking an enemy upward or backward reduces their damage done to you by 15%. That's legit. That is gonna be really strong in PvP, dude. In PvP, where you're trying to kite and you're knocking them back and they're doing less damage, that's gonna be strong, bro. Not super necessary in Mythic Plus, unless you've pulled aggro or you're talking about Spiteful. Let's go to the bottom. Maneuverability. Deep breath and breath of eons can now be steered in your desired direction. In addition, deep breath and eons burns targets for over 12 seconds. Bro, that's insane. Are you telling me that I'm gonna be able to maneuver mid-dash? Because as of right now, it's only in one straight direction. You get to pick the length of how far you go, but you do not get to turn mid-air. Bro, that's gonna be so much fun to use, bro. That is actually sick because, think about it this way, right? Sometimes it's really dangerous doing a breath of eons or deep breath. Because, for example, let's say this is boss right here. Don't judge my horrible handwriting. And this is you, and you want a breath of eons right through him. Let's picture Sarkareth, right? Let's go back to season 2, Dragonflight. And you're doing the phase 2 where you've got to kite the boss and all the ads that spawn, but there's like the bad all around you, right? Let's say the tank is tanking right in front of the circle, and you want a breath of eons to give your team a buff, but right behind it is that bad, pool. Now with this new change, you will be able to maneuver your you'll be able to maneuver your direction, right? So here's the bad, and you can go through to hit the boss to damage your team and then turn out of the bad. Dude, that's gonna be really cool, bro. But here is bombardments. Mass disintegrate and mass eruption mark your primary target for destruction for the next 10 seconds. You and your allies have a chance to trigger a bombardment when attacking marked targets, dealing volcanic damage split amongst all enemies. That honestly right there just even made augmentation evoker even better, and it brought more value to devastation because both can get this. Because now it's almost like giving devastation, which I think devastation is still good, but ever since Aug came out, there's this community mindset where like, if you're devastation, why aren't you playing augmentation? Which is not fully true. But this is like almost giving your devastation evoker an augmentation type ability, where now, even though I'm dev, I'm still gonna make the rest of my group stronger because you're now all gonna do extra damage to this group of mobs we're killing. That's really strong. But I think it's more than a cool ability. I think it's really helpful to devastation because I think it'll begin to help more groups see, no matter what evoker spec you're playing, hopefully you're still valuable. Wing Leader. Bombardments reduce the cooldown of Deep Breath and Breath of the Eons by 1 second for each target struck, up to 3 seconds. Dude, you're gonna get that ability off cooldown a lot faster. Extended Battle. Essence abilities extend bombardments by 1 second. Oh, and you can extend the buff? Bro, they're gonna give Devastation augmentation-like stuff. So if you never played augmentation, you cast, I'm really bad with ability names, but you cast your main ability that makes your team, that buffs your team, right? And then you can do abilities in your rotation that if you're doing your rotation correctly, you're extending the buff on that team. If you're really messing up your rotation, your team still gets buffed, but they'll be buffed for a shorter period of time. What this is saying is the bombardments, which are gonna buff your team, not necessarily buff your team, but you're debuffing the enemies, which in a sense is also making your team stronger because they're gonna hit harder on those mobs. If you do certain things, you are gonna make the debuff on those mobs last even longer. So in a sense, it's got a similar augmentation feel where if you hit the right buttons at the right times, you will help your team more. That's really cool, man. I like that a lot. And then Diverted Power, bombardments have a chance to generate Essence Burst. That's legit, dude. Up to the top right, Onslaught. Entering combat grants a charge of Burnout, causing your next living flame to cast instantly. Cool beans. It's interesting because we already have a similar ability and they get it upon combat. Your first living flame in combat will be instant. Yeah, that'll 100% change their rotation for both specs. Keep going down. Unrelenting Siege. For each second you're in combat, Azure Strike, which is one of your AoE abilities, and Living Flame deal 1% increased damage up to 50%. Hold the phone. So you're telling me that if I am in combat for 50 seconds, Living Flame and Azure Strike will do 50% more damage? Huh? Bro, we might be stepping into broken territory here. We might be stepping into broken territory. Season 1, Dragonflight, Devastation Evokers, blowing things up yet again, bro. Wow. These hero talents for Devastation and Augmentation Evoker are kind of broken, dude. Nimble Flyer. While hovering, damage taken from area of effects is reduced by 10%. Dude, I might be an Augment next expansion. I'm gonna keep it real with you, dude. This is looking kind of broken, dude. We'll see. Tailwinds, Deep Breath and Breath of Eons reset the cooldown of Hover. Bro. You're telling me that I can Breath of Eons or strategically use my Deep Breath to position myself and then instantly get a thing of Hover and then just hover out of the danger? Or I can strategically plan out the use of that. Like I can save my Breath of Eons or my Deep Breath for an extra few seconds, go through the AoE mob because I'm aware that a mechanic that's gonna require me to move is about to come up, but I'm currently out of hovers, which is how Evokers like do their fly thing. I can use that, get strategically at the right time, get another, charge of hover, and then start hovering while I am casting my abilities so that I don't have to lose uptime on the boss. Bro, this is what I'm talking about where Borderline starts getting into changes the class in a really strong way to where if it ever goes away and they don't make it baseline, would feel really crappy. I didn't really feel that way too much about the Druid class, but this feels like a pretty major change for the playstyle of Evokers that would just suck to have it go away one day. Because this is not just damage-wise, but fun-wise. A lot of abilities in here that'll make the class even more fun to play that I would love to see become baseline if this ever goes away. Love the Devastation changes. I may be biased. Some of it's kind of broken.